This is the most craziest freaking thing I've ever gone through.
Yeah.
Was that you? And I was just in a box, and I accepted somebody. I thought it was you. It was some guy talking and typing on a computer. Is that you?
No! No.
Some guy Morpheus or something like that?
No, that was not me. That's so funny.
Oh shit! So I dropped his ass real quick.
Good. Okay, good. Oh my goodness. All right. Woo! We just jumped through some hoops, didn't we?
Tell me about it. That was wild.
Yeah. I can ask the gentleman that has lent you this account if he needs to keep it or if he would be so kind to give it to you. He's one of the
Oh
nicest
well,
people, so he might
I
be.
don't know whoever he is. Thank you for letting me use it. I
Yeah.
thought it was your backup account or somebody.
It was at one point.
Oh, love you guys too. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, I don't think there's like a PayPal attached to it or anything either. So it's like
Okay.
you would be able to kind of do it yourself, you know. But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
speak for him. I'm gonna let him make that decision. So
It's all right. You can listen. I really don't care. I'm gonna get off TikTok because I'm not gonna deal with this kind of crap no more. It
okay,
ain't worth it.
yeah.
I mean, Check wants the clout. He can have the clout. I don't care. He can have the account. This ain't his account. He never set this account up. Okay,
So
that's plain out.
I think the best way to go about this, and you can give me your opinion on how you feel about it. I think what we should do for your interview is just talk about you. Like,
Okay,
I
that's
feel like,
fine.
yeah, I feel like if you don't want to mess with him, then let's not even talk about that stuff. Like,
Oh,
that was already
listen.
kind of publicized, and
No, no, it was publicized his side of the story. Nobody heard anything about from me, but that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'll handle it. We can do the interview however you want. You're gonna interview me. I'm answering the questions. I'm gonna get comfortable.
yes,
I'm on my bed. Okay.
yes. Okay, let's go. All right, I love it. You have a good attitude. Okay, so let's get into it. I usually start the interviews by asking how somebody got into social media, but I know that you went viral for a situation that happened. Do you want to kind of, for anybody who does not know you in the chat, like tell them how you went viral originally?
Okay. I've been on the internet since 1992. Um, I own my own ISP. I was an internet service provider. I had my own dial-up where company people would call into my house in my basement where I had the equipment. They would get on the internet from my house. So social media is not something new to me. However, I've not been online in a number of years because I've been out of the game since I was 30 when I was diagnosed with cancer and I went out on disability. So I've been out of the technology field and I haven't been updated. Now, since I've been out on my own for the last 10 years, I go on TikTok and I just play around. But now with this hurricane that came up, Helena was the first one, and I was living on my sailboat. God put on my heart about 6 years ago. I was in Colorado, and I was locked up for something, and He put on my heart Tampa, Florida, and get a boat. I woke up in the morning one day in my cell, Tampa, Florida, and get a boat. I was like, okay, Tampa, Florida, and get a boat. We're gonna do that. And it took me 5 years to get from Colorado to Tampa to get the boat because I came through Fort Lauderdale and I really liked Fort Lauderdale, so I hung out there for a couple of years and then came over to Tampa. And then I was living on the boat. My motor broke down. I got stranded over there by the hospital in Tampa, and the hurricane came, and everybody was like, they were crazy because they kept saying like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna stay on my boat. Hurricane Helena came through, and I kept saying the tide is going to come in, the boat's going to go up, you know, the tide's going to go out, the boat's going to go down. I'll be fine. So what happened? The tide came in, my boat went up. The tide went out, my boat went down. I woke up in the morning, I looked out the window, I'm dry, everybody else is wet. You know, across the street, they're flooded up to their chest, and I'm making a cup of coffee and watching them run around in the water.
Your boat was completely dry? You didn't have any like.
Yeah, no, my sailboat was completely fine with Helena. The way I set my boat up for Helena, I knew where the wind was going to be coming from. It was going to be coming from the west at that time. So I set my boat up in a way where I was tied to the dock, where actually the Jose Gasparillo boat, that pirate, have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
The Jose, no. I never saw it before either, but it's a big deal in Tampa. It's called the Jose Gasparillo boat. It's a big pirate ship.
Oh yeah,
And,
I have seen that. I have seen that.
okay, they moved it and I parked my boat there. So what happened was that when the storm came in, I started getting water in. Because it was just like coming in so hard, the waves. And I didn't know what to do. And I just started talking to God, and I call him Pops. So I said, Pops, what the hell am I going to do? It's fucking crazy. And I didn't realize how I did what I did prior to this point. And as I'm talking to God, the only thing that came over my head was cut the line. Cut the line. And I looked over and I had a line going from this cleat on the transom in the back of the boat, going way over there to the dock, up to a cleat. And the water was coming towards me at that point. It was coming to the back of the boat. So, and it was coming over the transom, coming, filling up the cockpit there. And I was bailing it out because the water wasn't draining. And that was the thing. You got to keep the water out of the boat. But somebody had somehow dirt got in the plugs and the drains and it wouldn't drain out. So I cut the rope, and the second I cut that rope and the tension released, my boat just swang around like this and was pointing nose into the wind, into the waves, where my boat was steady like it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Totally calm. It was 11 o'clock at night, 11:30. The hurricane was coming through, and I was just like this. I made a cup of coffee, and I was on TikTok at 11:30, and by 12 o'clock I was sleeping. I woke up at 5 o'clock, and everything was dry in my boat. I was dry. I pulled over the thing. I stuck my head out. I looked, and that's when everybody was wet. The street was flooded. The parking lot where everybody was standing was flooded. Everything.
That's insane.
And that's when I went viral. That's when it went viral. That's when I had the news reporter. I had a news reporter from Australia fly out to Tampa to come and do an interview with me.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's so
all the way
cool.
from. That was awesome. And I said, pack me up, pick me in your luggage.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so basically, like you got a message from God that told you to stay in that boat during the hurricane. That's
It wasn't so much a message from God that about staying in the boat,
uh-huh.
but I knew in my heart. All right. I put my tattoo. I don't know what you know about me, but I have a lot of tattoos. Okay, and all my tattoos have a meaning, and I have one right here underneath my watch band. You, you can't really see it too well on this camera.
Uh-huh.
It shit. It's right here. It says IGY6. I got your six because God's got mine. I'll take another. Hold on. Let me try doing it like this.
Okay.
No, you can't see it. All right. I'm sorry, but it's just
It's it's
it's just the initials IGY6. I got your six because God's got mine. I got your back because God's got my back, and I know that. So when everybody's telling me there's a hurricane coming, I don't care because I know that my father's got my back.
yeah.
And he ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. He told me to come to Tampa. He wouldn't have told me to come to Tampa to die. So, and like I said, both with Helena and Milton, Milton was a little worse than Helena for the one reason that, again, where I was tied up on the dock at this one, I thought I was going to do the same thing I did the first time. So I set the boat up like that prior to hurricane coming. Problem being was instead of the wind coming from the west like I thought, it came from the east and pinched me up against the wall and just kept pushing me into the wall like this. But there was a news report that I didn't see until weeks later where they showed my boat during the day, nice and calm. They showed a picture of a boat at night bouncing around like this, crazy, all over the place, banging into the wall. And then they showed a morning picture of my boat all calm and cool and collected again.
Crazy.
The middle picture was not me.
Wait, what?
The middle picture was not my boat. That wasn't me. That was filler. That was spliced in video.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay? Your news is fucking fake.
Yeah.
You keep saying, everybody says, oh yeah, we know. No, you don't. Because the fucking, oh, excuse my French, I'm sorry about the mouth. What I saw on TV, what I watched on TV with this skit, I call it a skit because it looked like one, but they showed my boat in the beginning, my little tiny sailboat, right? All calm on the water, all night. Oh, Lieutenant Dan's not getting off his boat. He's staying on his boat. Then they showed the freaking storm come and they show this boat. The boat don't even have a mast on it.
Yeah.
It didn't even have I don't know if you know what about sailboats, but the mast that holds the sails up,
Yeah.
it didn't have a mast. Who would have thought who put that picture in it? It should be shot.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I mean, no. So that's why people come to me and they look at me like I'm a living legend that I walk through fire. Well, no, I just walk on hot coals, but it wasn't that. I mean, maybe I can't say that because all around me in Tampa, a block away from where my boat was, downtown, there was a building that had a crane on top.
Mm-hmm.
And the crane was, it was there for construction or whatever. But during the storm, the crane fell off the roof and took out a wall on the first floor, a block away from where I was. So now I don't know. I mean, a hurricane's just a bad storm with wind and water. But I don't know. I didn't stick my head out because it was raining. I had the news right up. The way I point like this because I was in my boat and I was down real low. That everybody was up there, so I'm like, I had to look up to everybody. And every hour, the news reporter would come over and go, Lieutenant Dan, you were right down there. I'd be in my boat yelling to him, I'm fine, leave me alone, it's raining. And he would just keep calling me until I'd stick my head out. Until I'd stick my head out of the roof.
Yeah, I mean, like, people probably wanted to know that you were good, like, that's
Yeah.
an intense
I mean, people don't realize that I am not anything special. Right? I'm not an actor. I'm not a performer. My Facebook account, my creator page, my profile, my profile was pot farmer. That was my job, pot farmer.
Really? How long did you do
Yeah.
that for?
I've been doing that for 10 years, off and on.
Okay.
I started 10 years ago.
Okay.
But that was my job title, was pot farmer.
Huh?
About 4 years ago, somehow or another, my job title changed from pot farmer to digital creator.
Okay. I like that.
I never did that, but that was the only thing that changed.
So that happened like automatically. That's like just what happened.
Yep, automatically it changed from pot farmer to digital creator.
Okay. Huh.
Didn't
know that was
So I didn't know it was a job title. I never even heard of it before until I read it on my profile.
Yeah. Well, how'd you get into farming? Because I feel like that you have to go down a certain path to get there. Like, how did you get into that?
Okay, when I was 30, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer
Yeah, I read
on Monday. I had that. They diagnosed me on Monday, and then on Thursday, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, 3 lesions on my brain, 2 on my spine. So I went through the whole chemotherapy and all that the doctors wanted, and I became addicted to Oxycontin and Percocet, prescription pain pills that was prescribed by my oncologist and the pain management doctors. And I took them as prescribed, 3 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 late in the afternoon, 1 before bed. And and it wasn't like it was a problem because I didn't act any kind of different. I sat on the couch all day and watched TV. That was all I did. So I got in. My daughter had my grandson, and we went from North Carolina to Jersey, and I'm holding my grandson in my arms. That was the picture that's on my face. Somebody posted it during this thing. There's a picture of me holding my grandson, and I looked at my son and I said, "I'm Pop Pop. I'm Pop Pop." Now he didn't really know what that meant, but to me that was my grandfather, my pop. He was my everything. I had a POS father, I had a POS stepfather, but my grandfather, when I was a young kid, he was my everything.
Mhm.
So that's what I call God now, because that's everybody says, "What's God's name? What's God's name?" Oh, it's Adoni. It's this, Adonai. It's this. It's that. It's Jehovah.
Yeah.
I call him Pop because he's my father. I don't know what his real name is. My name's Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay, but my name is Joseph John, and my pop's name is John. So I'm named after him anyway. But I call him Pop, and I would like to talk to Pop because we're supposed to think of God as our father, and He wants that personal relationship with us.
Yes.
Now, for you, Sarah, you love your dad. You love your mom.
So much.
O- Okay, you can't call God dad, or father, and have the same relationship with him because you already have one that you're associated with and you have that love and association for already. You
Mhm.
can't make that connection with him. So that's where I think you have two pop ups. You have two grandpops. You only got one dad, but you got two grandfathers, you got two grandmothers, right?
Yeah.
So if we call God Pop or Pop Up or Grandpop or Granddad or whatever, you can still associate an imaginary God figure with an image of your grandfather, which was your protector, your love. He loved you, protected you, provided for you whatever you needed, taught you stuff like my grandfather taught me how to fish, taught me all about boats, taught me all. That's why I'm into boats now. Was my grandfather.
Yeah.
So that gives me. That's how I have a personal. What I like to call it, a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
Even though,
Yeah, for
that's
you
what He
too. I
wants.
love that. I feel like everybody could potentially do that, like kind of visualize, like the Lord as somebody with that personal connection. I feel like that's half the battle is like that connection with God, you know what I mean? So,
That's it. I do, but see, this is the thing, and this goes in so many different areas of life. Do you know that the human language is the most unsophisticated, stupidest language that we have?
it feels like it sometimes for sure.
And it don't even matter what language you're in, okay? But we have words that have multiple meanings,
Yeah,
okay?
it's true.
And you just said one that's a red flag for me. When you said the Lord.
Mhm.
The Lord. Do you
Yeah.
know I'm a Lord, right? I'm a Lord.
Wait, okay, go into that. What do you mean?
I gave myself the title.
Okay.
All Lord is Lord is a title. Lord is a title. Because
Yeah.
if you read in the Bible, if you read the Bible,
Mhm.
there's two Lords. There's capital L, lowercase O-R-D, and there's capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D.
Yeah.
All capital letters is supposed to indicate God, G-O-D. Capital G, little O-D is supposed to indicate Jesus,
Okay.
or little Lord is Jesus.
Mhm.
But if you go to England, there's lords and this and that. They got all kinds of titles. There's multiple lords. So that way, the devil is a tricky SOB. Okay? The devil.
Yeah.
Now, the devil tries to impersonate God. He wants he wants the recognition like God got it. But see, God don't even have to do nothing. He just sits back and watches.
Yeah, he's
All right,
yep.
he just watches and he lets you do your thing. All right, because God doesn't want the sheep, so to speak. He wants you to be awake enough to think about it and analyze and have discernment enough to decide which route to go. See, like I said, and I mean by that is like choosing to call God Pop, Lord, or a common name, even the name Jesus. If you do your history, there was no J in the Hebrew or Aramaic language. So then the people say, well, it's the English translation. Sarah. Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Mary. Mary. Your name Sarah.
I'm Sarah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Jesus. Jesus. How the hell does he know you're talking to him?
The name?
Right? I'm sorry I got on a religious. I'm sorry I got on a religious kick. I'm gonna let you go to questions now. I'm gonna
Okay,
shut my
okay. So
mouth
let's
because I'm
do.
going off.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And people in the chat are just chatting, you know. It is what it is. I think if you're passionate about something, you should be
Okay.
able to speak about it. So okay, you mentioned your kind of like addiction situation with pain pills and your religious beliefs. So like talk about that for a little bit. I want to understand like okay, because I mean you got into like a car accident? Is that what happened? Oh, do I have an echo?
No, the pain meds, the pain meds. I got that was all from the cancer, from the chemotherapy. I had to go through 2 complete treatments of chemotherapy. And I had back pain and hip pain from that. So they put me on pain management, and I'd worked my way up from like just taking like Percocet to taking a more stronger rug. Um, and I worked up to the OxyContin, 80 milligrams 3 times a day, and 4
Wow.
Percocet 10s per day.
Mhm.
And that's what I took every day, prescribed by my doctor. That's what they told me to take, and that's what I took. And then after my daughter had my grandson, and that's how I got stranded. I'm sorry. I was saying how I had my grandson in my hands, and I looked to my son. I said, "I'm Pop Pop," and I wanted to do everything that my grandfather did with me. I wanted to do with my grandson. You know, I wanted to teach him fishing, build him a little workbench. When I was younger, my grandfather made me a mini version of his workbench. He built it out of regular wood and all. He didn't go out and buy it at the store. He cut all the wood. He nailed it all together. But that was my workbench. That was what I wanted to do with Abel. But I looked at my son. I said, I can't do anything because I have no energy because of these stupid pills, and I can't stop them because I got back pain and hip pain.
Especially with
And he looked at
that
me and goes,
degree, like especially that much, your tolerance had to be insane at that point. Like you
"Oh
can't
yeah,
stop.
oh
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was crazy." But he says to me, he goes, "Did you ever try Mary Jane?" I
Uh,
said, "Where am I going to get that?" Check it. He says to me, he goes, "Ever try Mary Jane?" He goes, "What about Mary Jane?" I said, "Where the hell they sell that? CVS aisle 3? Because I know they don't have it at Walgreens. Mommy works there. My ex-wife worked at Walgreens. She used to bring home my prescriptions for me whenever they were due."
yeah.
So he started laughing at that. He goes, "No, Dad." He goes, "Don't worry, I'll get you some." I said, "All right." By the time we got back to North Carolina from Jersey, I had already started on the internet. You know, how much is this is going to kill me? How do you take it? You know, all of it. Because I didn't know, I've never been to anything illegal or I was your regular stay at home Joe. I was a stay at home dad. When I got cancer at 30, I was 30. My daughter was 10. My son was 5.
Yeah. Ugh.
And I was the one that would get them on the bus in the morning, get them off the bus in the afternoon. I don't cook, so I was like, make yourself a sandwich or starve. Wait till mommy comes home, you know? But I was the one there. Um, so that's how I got. You, you had asked the question about Mary Jane. How did I get into a pot farmer? And that's how we got onto this track.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be here it's already almost 9. You had a date tonight?
No, no, you're my date tonight. You're my date tonight. Okay,
Just
let's
don't eat
switch
too much.
sides then. I like how okay,
Just
let's
don't eat
switch
too much.
sides then. I like how you got into that. You've been doing it for 10 years. I think that's awesome. Um, so how did you get into like the boat situation? So you were diagnosed at 30, you chose to like farm and do other stuff. How did you move into a boat originally? Like what transitioned you
I,
to that?
when I was when okay, I was married until I was 44. In 2014, I left my wife and I decided that it was done. That my marriage was over. I was ready to get the hell out, and through a strange course of events, God made it happen. Um, but when I left, me and my ex-wife haven't spoken another word since then together. She's had me. Never mind. Um, so I didn't have any inclination about living on a boat or anything until God told me, and it had to be. It was about 6 years ago when I was in Colorado. When he put that, I mean, I loved boats. I had a boat when we lived in New Jersey and all, but I never really thought about living on one until God put on my heart. Tampa, get a boat. So that's what I did. And now you can't get me off of the damn thing.
Yeah. So, okay, some haters on the internet talk about you like being like homeless, but you live in a boat, so you're not homeless. Like you have a boat, like you have a place to stay,
Okay,
right?
let's back up this bus.
Okay.
I When I left my ex-wife and my family in 2014, I've been homeless ever since then.
Okay.
I walked away from the house. I gave her the house. I gave her everything in the house. All the furniture, and I'm talking a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, split level. That was fully furnished with good furniture. I mean, my stepfather worked for uh, Rooms to Go, so I used to get all my furniture there. I mean, people talk like I'm a bum. You don't know me. I used to make $110,000 a year. I used to have a nice life. But when I left my family and started out on this journey, I didn't. When all of that happened, when I left my family, right before that, my daughter had called me up. It was about less than a year after she had my grandson. They couldn't pay the rent. So she called me up. I helped her pay the rent one month. And the next month, she couldn't pay the rent again. So I said, come down here to North Carolina, move in. I'll give you the master bedroom. I sleep on the couch. Mommy sleeps up there. I'll make the dining room a bedroom for your mom. And then maybe me and her will sleep together again. Because I didn't go up the stairs. I was tired of going up the stairs. Anyway, my daughter proceeds. I get off the Oxycontin. I got off the pain medication with the use of Mary Jane.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
April 16th, 2014 was the last day I take the Percocet or an Oxycontin. I threw a half a bottle of Oxycontin and a half a bottle of Percocet in the garbage, and just used Mary Jane for my pain, and it worked. So
Yeah.
I started weaning myself. I started that in like January. So by April 16th, I threw a half a bottle of Oxy, half a bottle of Percocet out. I was fine. I didn't go through no withdrawal, nothing. No shakes,
Wow,
no
that's
sweat.
dangerous.
It was wild. I was fine. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't realize what I was doing. Because
Yeah.
I weaned myself down to the point where I was taking 2 Oxycontins a day and 1 Percocet a day.
Yeah.
And I thought I was good at that point. So on the 16th, I threw them away. The 16th, I was fine. The 17th, I was fine. The 18th, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm sitting on the couch. My wife was at work. My son was upstairs. I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden, our little miniature pincher named Bella, she started running around the coffee table, and jumped up in my lap. And Bella, what are you doing? Stop. Put her on the floor. She run around the coffee table, jump back up in my lap. Bella, stop. I put her on the floor. She kept doing this 4 or 5 times. By the fifth time, I'm like, damn dog, I'm gonna bounce you off the friggin' wall. And then it hit me. This dog knows something. There's something wrong. So I turned on the couch And I yelled upstairs to my son, Chris, come down here, son. Boom. And I fell. I hit the floor. I stand up and I look around and I'm not in my house. I'm in the pitch black. I can't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. There's no wind. It felt like being in a warehouse with no doors or windows.
Was this like a vision, like a visual, like hallucination or something? Like,
1 minute I'm sitting on my couch. The next minute I'm standing in this thing. I'm standing in a box. I don't know where I am. I'm in the pitch black. I can't see nothing. I'm looking around like, where the hell are we? I don't know anything, and I'm conscious. I'm wide awake. I'm thinking to myself. It's not like a dream. Okay, I'm looking around. Where am I? I wasn't scared because I didn't know where I was, and I don't know how long I was there. When I came, hold on. As I'm looking around, and I'm trying to get a bearing, but I can't see nothing because everything is black. It's just black everywhere. And then I saw it, a little tiny white dot out in the distance. So I locked on it, and just as I was about to pick up my right foot and start walking towards it, I hear my son behind me and to the right screaming, Dad, Dad, wake up, wake up.
wow.
And I said, I can't go yet. My son still needs me. I'll be back later. And I went to turn around on my left foot, and bam, I'm on the floor in my living room with my son at my feet, Dominic over here, Andrew over here, and these three 19-year-old boys are crying like little girls. Joe, you were dead. You weren't breathing. I looked at Dominic. I said, how long? He said, 10 minutes. Andrew goes, you were purple. I looked at him. I said, and you're black. He's light skinned.
Okay.
My son at my feet. You want me to call mom? You want me to call 911? I said, call the Army and the Air Force because they just beamed me up and I don't know where the hell I was.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's
my son called the ambulance. They came and got me. And now this is the thing. And please, anybody feel free to verify this. Okay. There's a daily devotional called Our Daily Bread. They're on the internet. Okay. It's a daily devotional. You can usually only find them in jails. I don't remember what year it was. It was within the last 5 years. But if you look up on April 18th, over the last 5 years, there's a story that there's no name given on the man. But the moral of the story was, as he was being loaded into the ambulance, he looked to his son and said, tell your mother I said I love her. And they loaded him up in the ambulance and closed the door. That was me. That was my story. That was my story. Somebody that had there was no name on it. No name was associated with this thing. But that was my story. And then when they did get me to the hospital, they diagnosed me as going through opioid withdrawal.
yeah.
Because I abruptly stopped taking it. And that's when, see, people say I'm crazy. Excuse me, I'm not crazy. But
We're all
the people that knew me before now, I was a completely different man before than I am today.
I mean, we all change every day, right? Like, we get to either live in the past or live in the moment. We've all learned so much, like
Yeah.
from 10
You
years
don't,
ago, 20 years ago.
un,
You know what I mean?
unless you wake up, you have to wake up because people live in the cycle. They live in the dream. They believe in the news. They believe in their governments for them. You know, they believe in the handouts from the government. Listen, I am not saying, I think that we should have one world government, okay? One country under God. One planet under God. He made the planet, right or wrong. So why is it one nation under God and then you go under Allah? No, listen, I don't care if you call him Allah because that's your language. It don't matter what you call God as long as you know he's the supreme creator.
I mean,
That's who we're talking.
I love that you're like going into your religion and like speaking about your beliefs. This is literally the point of this. So
But please don't, Sarah, please don't use the word religion. It's called spirituality because religion is meant to divide.
yeah. Valid.
Really, I don't want to divide. I want to
Well,
bring
are
people
you not?
together.
Are you a Christian or are you spiritual? Like,
Okay, I'm spiritual.
okay.
I, I, I started out Catholic as a kid. I was an altar boy. I went to Catholic school, whole 9 yards, had confirmation. Okay.
Yeah.
But we never opened the Bible. All I knew about this guy named Jesus was he was the guy that was hanging on the cross, hanging from the freaking roof in the church. I didn't know nothing about him.
Hmm.
So I never freaking paid any attention to it. My whole life I was like that. And when I left my family, I say I left my family, I make it sound so bad, but I moved on. When I moved on, I found God. God found me. When I told, okay, after I had that thing in my house where I was unalive, and my daughter then after that moved into our house with my grandson and her baby daddy. Now I've been smoking Mary Jane now for a few months. Or this was I don't remember when the hell this was. It was probably April, May, June. I don't know when the hell month it was. But she tries to tell me that I can't smoke in my house. I said I'm not smoking in the house and I'm not smoking in front of Abel, but I'm gonna go in the garage. Okay? It was getting colder. That's what it was. Around September, October. I said I'm not going. I said, wait a minute. This is my house. I paid a mortgage. Okay, you're not going to come into my house and tell me what I can do and not do in my house. Like it, and we had an argument where she had gotten the whole damn family in the house against me because that's when I started waking up and I started seeing the way I was being treated by my family, how I was being disrespected and how I was being taken advantage of. I mean, I would wake up in the morning and I'm a heavy sleeper. So I would wake up in the morning and then I'd get dressed and have to go to the doctor or something, go out to my truck and there'd be mud all over the side of my truck like I went four wheeling.
So,
I don't go for
would you say that environment was just not healthy for you, and also for them because of the way that you felt, or like what was it? I mean, like
what
personally, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do that.
what
Like leave, Like I don't know if I could.
my ex-wife and I were married 25 years.
Hmm.
When we got married, I asked her to marry me on a whim. Okay, we had only known each other a couple of months. We only just started fooling around a couple weeks ago. And after having a nooner laying there in bed, I wanted to ask her to be my girlfriend, but I didn't know how to ask her to be my girlfriend. And I came out and I just said, no, never mind, you wouldn't. And she was like, what? I was like, nothing, forget it. And I really didn't have any idea what the hell to say. But as she kept saying, what? I said, oh, you'd never marry me. And she goes, yes, I would. And I looked at her, I said, oh. And the next thing I know, we're getting married Monday by the Salvation Army in Brooklyn, New York. I mean, it was crazy like that. So anyway, I'm just going over my story. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing all over the
No,
place.
no, I love it. This is you. This is your mind. That's what we're here for. So,
I,
um,
I, you start me on one little track, and I take over the whole road.
hey, that's okay. That's your mind. That's how you think. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, basically it was like the way that you kind of rushed into a relationship and it was a toxic environment from there.
It, we got married. 3 months later, she was pregnant.
Yeah, that's
Three
really
months
good.
after. Yeah, and at that point we knew each other for 3 months prior to getting married. We get married. She's pregnant 3 months later, and my daughter's there. We got married July 30th, 1989. My daughter was born July 1st, 1990.
Okay.
So less than 12 months. 11 months later, my daughter was born.
That is really quick.
Almost to the day.
Wow.
Almost to the day. But we made it work. I mean, we had a working family,
Yeah.
right? But at this point, and it's not anybody's fault. It's not her fault. It's not the kid's fault. When I was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 throughout my whole body and my spleen. They told me that on Monday. On Thursday, a neurologist tells me I have 3 lesions on my brain and 2 on my spine. Multiple sclerosis, within a couple of years, you're dead.
Right.
Multiple sclerosis and cancer, I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man walking.
And how long ago were you diagnosed with both of those? That had to be years ago, right?
2014.
So what happened? How are you walking? How are you breathing?
I went through a 6-week cycle of chemotherapy.
Mhm.
Okay, they put a port in my chest where they would come up, stick a needle in there, put the chemotherapy in. And we went through the whole thing, and they tested me at the end of it, and they said, Mr. Malinowski, we haven't gotten rid of the cancer. We're going to have to do it again. So they had taken the port out of this side. They had to put one in on this side, do another 6 weeks. At the end of that, tested me again. Said, Malinowski, scan like a Christmas tree. You got some kind of cancer that we just get rid of. So we're going to send you over to Philadelphia Hospital. I was at Memorial Hospital in Mount Holly, New Jersey. We're going to send you to Philly. They're going to do a treatment called blue ice. They're going to drill into your hips. They're going to extract bone marrow. They're going to give you this blue ice treatment, which is going to bring you to the edge of death, put bone marrow back in, and then bring you back. I was like, oh, okay. You know, you're going to bring me to the edge of death and then bring me back.
Uh-huh.
So this was like on a Thursday, and then I had to be in Philadelphia like the following Tuesday or something. My wife and I go to Philadelphia. They start doing all their tests. And after about 4 or 5 hours, the doctor called me and my wife in his office, and he looks at me. He goes, Mr. Malinowski, we can't find any form of cancer in your body. I said, well, then, doctor, explain to me. I lit up the PET scan like a Christmas tree Thursday. Huh?
From the
What?
bone marrow transplant?
They didn't do it. They
Or
didn't get there
before?
yet. They didn't even start it yet. They hadn't even started. I just
What?
left Jersey on Thursday, and I'm in Philly on Tuesday. I light up the PET scan like a Christmas tree on Thursday. Tuesday, they can't find no cancer in my body. So I looked at the doctor. I said, okay, doc, well, was the doctor lying, or did God cure me?
Yeah, right.
Which, no, did you? I understand you just got a gift, but listen to my question to the doctor.
No,
Was
right.
was the doctor in New Jersey lying about the cancer that you don't find now? Was he lying, or did God cure me?
I mean,
What do you think?
did they show proof of cancer cells before?
They had everything. I was blood count, the blood test, the freaking PET scan, everything. On Thursday, I lit it up. Now I'm nothing. Now my blood works normal. My PET scan's clean. They can't find anything on in my system. 5 days later,
Nothing.
nothing.
How is that possible? How is that possible?
I asked the doctor. I said, was he lying or did God cure me? What do you think his answer was?
What?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know? Do you have an idea?
I know.
What?
I know. I know who. I know what it was. It was God cured me.
5 days.
5 days from being stage 4 non-Hodgkin's through 4S throughout the whole body and the spleen. And non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is an infection of the lymph nodes. So all my lymph nodes throughout the body, armpits, the neck, the groin, all of them are inflamed, all of them are infected on Thursday, but on Tuesday I don't have any of them. Everything is fine, my blood works normal and everything. They can't find any form of cancer in my body.
Wow. That's incredible.
And so what I believe in my heart is that if I don't even believe doctors today, because I believe you go to a doctor with an ailment, they make something up Okay, we got more new diseases every day than they ever had because they just create them. They give them names. They give a friggin' elbow pain a new name. It's elbow. You banged your elbow. It's called the funny bone. No, it's called the hyperflexion superphalangistic expialidocious of your right tibular fibula. You know, what the hell kind of explanation is that these doctors give you? You gotta take these pills for the next 6 weeks. You start taking these pills, now you got another problem that you gotta go to them for, and take more pills for that.
Yeah.
It's a racket. It's a scam. It was started in the 20s by Rockefeller because he had the oil and they didn't want to use the. And that wasn't Rockefeller. Who the hell was that? One of them sons of bitches. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your virality. So obviously you went over how it happened. I guess like so were you on the news first? Were you on TikTok first? Did somebody see you and put
Okay.
you on social media? Like how did that all
Okay.
happen?
If you know anything about my story, you know Tampa. You heard of Tampa Terrence. Okay. I didn't know Tampa. I didn't know Terrence. A couple of days before the hurricane hit, I was in my boat over there, and I dragged anchor. I was heading towards the bridge, and I couldn't get my anchor to grab. So I saw Terrence. I saw this kid walking across the bridge, some guy, and I just yelled over to him that, "Hey, can you do me a favor? And if I throw you a line, can you tie it up over there?" He said, "Sure." So I threw it to him. He tied it up. He left. I went about my business.
Mhm.
The next day, he comes up. He lives on one island and goes to school on the other side. So he walks by and he comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, can you do this? Can you say that?" He shows me the skit from Forrest Gump, right? With Lieutenant Dan
Oh, okay.
screaming at the storm. He's screaming at the hurricane that he was in.
Mhm.
So he says, "Can you do this?" So I looked at it and I looked around. It was sunny out. It was beautiful weather. I said, "What are you talking about?" That's why I made the first video where I said, "Fuck the police." You
Okay.
know, I did. He did this skit where we went, "Fuck the police," and that's whenever Terrence would walk by, he would do an update because he was walking by and I'm still there. So it was like, "Hey, let's go see how Lieutenant Dan's doing." And Terrence is a really pop. I'm get. We just got
Okay.
an error.
Yeah, so
Error.
yeah, so or like come back in and then
Okay,
I'll reinvite you, okay?
I got you.
Okay. He's coming back. People are trying to report him, so. Check, I didn't mute you, dude. Sorry. Sorry that one of my mods thought that you were spamming or I said spamming or bullying. That's the only reason that you should mute anyone. Spamming or bullying. I did not mute you, okay? Jim, thank you. All right. Let's get him back in here. Okay, he's back in. Okay. There, I invited you. Thank you guys for all the gifts. I really appreciate it.
Sorry about that. I had to make a restroom break.
Oh, you're good. Okay, well, I'm glad you took a break. So Terrence was recording you and kind of giving you skits then, basically, to.
Yeah, well, no, he would just come and check on me. Like he
Uh-huh.
would act like he was checking on me, like he's doing something. And I was the way the way he was doing it. I thought he was doing it for a college project when he first came over. I thought it was a college project he was working on. That's
Uh-huh.
why, if you look at one of my videos, he's outside the boat screaming, "Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Dan." And I popped up out of the thing looking the other way, knowing he's behind me, but I pop my head up and I go, "Oh." You know, I did one of them just to put on a little show for the
Yeah.
guy because here I think he's doing it for college credits or something. Meanwhile, he's streaming this shit on TikTok, and I'm being picked up by all over the world. I'm viral. I don't even know it. I didn't even know for 3 days after the storm that I went viral.
Mhm. Wow.
No, you don't understand that? I had no frigging idea of any of this shit
Yeah.
prior to when it happened. I didn't know. I knew people were interviewing me, like the news. They would come down and talk to me and ask me questions. But I don't have a TV. I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
my
never saw
god.
none.
That's like Bad
Huh?
Baby. Bad Baby didn't even know she went viral until like months later. You know.
Yeah, that was me.
Mhm.
And I was like, because I really thought it was like maybe for like filler for the news, like the weather. They put this little, oh, well, what do you think about all this, type of thing. I didn't know I was viral like that. And then after Helene, the first one, they went and they did a criminal search on me and found out that I'm an 18 times I've been arrested. And how many convictions? And if I was such a bad man, why am I not in jail today?
Wait, you've been convicted 18 times? You said
Mm,
18 times? Wait, no.
no. I've been arrested 18 times.
For what?
Jaywalking, second degree trespassing at the gas station. I do have a couple of more serious charges of felony fleeing and eluding an officer because they were chasing me and pulled a gun on me and I hit the gas and took off or put a pew pew. So I ran, and when they got me, I got arrested for felony fleeing and eluding. I had to do 3 months in prison for that. 3 months in prison.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Huh?
wait,
I never
you had
assaulted a
that pulled on
female.
you, but you didn't use
Uh,
anything?
Okay, no. This is the story. Okay,
Okay.
about this was nobody knows this story. This is completely new.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Okay.
nobody's heard of this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was living at my mother's house, and my mother wakes me up one morning and says, "I need you to go to Walgreens, and get my prescription."
Hmm.
I said, "Mom, Patty works there. I'm not allowed to go near Patty. She's got this restraining order thing against me. I'm not allowed to go within 1,000 feet of her." So my mother starts laying into me. I really need my medicine. I got pain. My mother had shingle pain. Shingles. I don't know if you ever know. I mean, it's
Yeah,
supposedly
yeah,
really
like
painful.
chickenpox, but for like older people, right?
Yeah.
The after
So
effects.
she needed her meds. So I said, fine, I'll go. So I go to Walgreens. I go inside and I go up to the pharmacist window. And I'm looking down because I'm in line and I see a pair of shoes standing next to me. And I look and it was Donna, the Walgreens manager. She's standing there. So I look at her, I go, "Hi, Donna, how are you?" She goes, "Hi, Joe, how are you?" "You're pretty good, Donna. Picking up my mother's prescription." She goes, "Oh, okay." So I go up to the doctor. I said, I need a prescription for Rosemary Armesto, my mother.
Mhm.
If it's not due to tomorrow, can I get emergency prescription, emergency refill today? They said no. So I looked at Donna. I said, "Donna, I got to come back tomorrow to pick these up." I said, "But why don't I just go through drive-through so I don't have to come in and we don't have no kind of issues or whatever?"
Uh-huh.
She goes, "That sounds like a good idea." Because my wife was working she was right over there, 15 feet away from me. I don't even look at her, right? we're still married, but I haven't looked at her.
Okay.
So she said, "All right." So I leave. I tell my mother. She says, "All right." So the next day comes. She wakes me up. I go back to Walgreens. Now I go through drive-through. I go up through the window. I said, "Rosemary Armesto." The guy says, "We're making it." I said, "All right." I start waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm there for like 10 minutes. And I looked to him, and then I pushed the button, and I said, "How much longer?" He goes, "Oh, we're getting it together." I said, "All right." So I'm waiting, waiting, waiting. Next thing I know, a Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina police car just drives by in front of me.
Mhm.
So I said, "I know what the hell you did." I knew they called the cops to violate me to have me arrested for violating the restraining order with my wife because I'm not supposed to be within 1,000 feet of her.
Oh. Wait, was it a setup situation? Like,
Yeah,
oh my
because she
god.
knew I was. My wife wasn't even working that day.
Yeah.
She wasn't even there. So the cop pulls along in front of me. I said, "I see what you did." put the car in drive, turn the radio up real loud, sit back, and I start creeping. 15 miles an hour. I pull out of the parking lot, and I hit the street, and I hear light. I hear screaming, and could see the lights, right? But I'm low. I'm low like this, like I'm creeping, I'm rolling through the hood. I don't hear nothing. I don't see nothing. I got the radio blasting. I'm just creeping. I'm driving. And I caught the green light. I knew I was going to get arrested. I knew it. I knew I was going to get arrested, but I needed to get my mother's car back to my mother so she could come and bomb me out later. All right. I already know the routine. I know this is what I got to do.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm driving all through town to get back to my mother's. I get to this one red light at this one light, and I catch the red light. But there's a gas station right there, so I cut through the gas station. I went through one driveway, went out the other side, kept on going. I come up to Route 55, which is a major not interstate, but it's a major highway in Fuquay. As I'm coming up, I see it's a red light, and there's like 3 cars in line to make the right where I gotta go. See, now, if you understand the law, if you're being pulled over by a cop, okay, and he got the lights on, you pull over. The cop pulls over. He opens the door. He puts his foot on the ground. If his foot touches the ground and you take off, that's felony fleeing and eluding a cop.
Okay, valid.
Okay?
Yes.
If you don't stop and the cop don't stop, you can argue that you didn't see the lights.
I need to fact check that, but for all intents and purposes, keep going because I want to hear this.
Okay. So I'm not giving anybody an opportunity to stop. I keep rolling. I keep moving.
Okay.
I'm coming up to the light. Light's red. 3 cars are parked there. I know I'm not going to make the right. But Food Lion's right here. So I mag the right, go through Food Lion. Cutting through the parking lot because I know there's an entrance up here to get out. I'm only going 5 miles an hour through Food Lion parking lot. The cops are... After everything was settled and I came back to town after getting out of jail, I went to Food Lion, and the kids there know me. And they came up to me. They came up to me and they said, "Joe, was that you in the car last month up there with the cops chasing you?" I said, "Yeah." So I get up to the light. I get up to the highway. I make the right, and there's another fucking traffic light right there. Now this is a major intersection. I can't risk running this red light. So I'm laying like this. I'm laying down in the car like this. I got my hand up on the steering wheel like this, and I got my eye locked this way in the rearview mirror on the cop's driver's side door. Right? I can't see in the mirror. I mean, in the window, but I could see the door. And I'm saying to myself, if that fucking door opens, just throw this sumbitch in park and, surrender. Let mom pick up the car wherever the hell it goes. As I'm sitting there and locked in like this, my passenger door flies open, and I turn and I look, and I got a 45 caliber gun in my face like this with a black face behind it. All I saw was a black face and a 45.
Okay, watch out with the word usage too, by the way. But okay, continue.
What did I say?
You say pew
said...
pew, right?
Oh, pew pew.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was a pew pew. Mm-hmm. And a black face behind it. But at that point, my mind had totally forgot about the cop behind me. Because now I got a pew pew in my face with a black face behind it. I hit the gas. I took off. I did 120 from there to the next red light. When I got to the next light, that was our street to go to our house, where my mother's house was. So I banged that left at about 70 miles an hour, going down the street. And I go down one block. I make the left 40 miles an hour. I lose control of the car, smash my mother's car into a tree, totaled the car. Airbags went off. As soon as the airbag decompressed, I opened the door. I was out of the door. And I've been an amputee. I've been one-legged since I was 16 years old. Okay? I have never run in my life since I was 16 years old. I have never run one foot in front of the other like you run my entire life, my
Yeah.
entire adult life. That day, I ran like a sprinter. Okay? Because I crashed the car here, and my mother's house is right there on the corner. I mean, less than like 400 feet away from me. So I ran to my mother's house. The front door is open. I run in. I grab the door. I slam it, and I'm screaming to my mother, "Mom, the freaking cops are trying to kill me." And I'm running through the house, and the cop came, and he's kicking the door in, and my mother's screaming, "I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming." Okay?
Yeah.
She gets to the door, it swings open. Anyway, I wind up getting arrested for that. For felony fleeing and eluding a police officer because I went to the drugstore to get my mother's medication.
Oh my god. Wow. Wow.
You want to hear another one? You want to hear another?
Wait. Okay, let's switch lanes. Hold on. Let's switch lanes.
Okay.
That is crazy. So obviously like you've been arrested like multiple times, so that's only one of them. But that
Yeah.
one is insane. Like
Hey, I never claimed to be a saint, but I've never hurt anybody. I've never stolen anything.
okay.
Okay? The cop that I'm accused of punching in the nose is a male cop by the name of Joseph Alou. This happened in West Palm Beach County, where I was convicted for battery on a law enforcement officer. He's a fucking 50-some-year-old cop who now appears to have cancer. And the bartender that started the problem, I went into a bar to sing karaoke one night in Lake Worth, Florida. Lake Worth. And I just walked in. I got a Captain and Coke drink, and I was sipping that. And I'm watching the people sing karaoke, and I love music, but I can't sing. I got no teeth. Okay? So come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. It was a Monday night, and the bar is more or less empty, and the people that are doing it, they can't sing either. You know, they look as bad as I look. So I said, "You could do this," but I needed a little bit more encouragement. So the bartender walked over, and I looked at him. I said, "What's the strongest drink you make?" He said, "Long Island iced tea." I said, "All right, let me have one of them." So he walked away. I pulled $100 bill out of my pocket. I put it on the bar because I figured one or two sips, maybe three, and I'll be at the right level where I can get enough courage to get up there and do this, you know? And I'm waiting. What's going on? What are you laughing about?
No, I mean, like, that's funny. It's a Long Island.
Oh, okay.
It's funny to me, but.
Oh, no. I thought it was somebody's comment on the thing. I'm sorry.
No, I was laughing at your story. I mean, I'm reading them kind of, but I'm listening to you, so.
If anybody has anything interesting, you could stop me, but.
Okay.
So, I'm waiting for my drink, and it just never comes. And one point I look over, and there's change on the bar. I never saw him come up, take the 100, and bring the change. I count the change. It was $87 there. So $13 for the Long Island iced tea. All right, but where the hell is it? You know, there's nothing here. So I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And I see the bartender. He's over here. He's over there. He's one bartender that night. So finally, at one point, he's in front of me at the corner of the bar at a table, a party of about 6 people. So I stand up on the footstool part of the bar stool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bar stool's got the thing that you put your foot on.
Mm-hmm.
I stand on that and I reach over and I hit the bar tap and I yell, "Yo!" And he turns and he looks and he sees and he starts screaming at me. He's coming back, right? I'm trying to get his attention. He's screaming at me because I just spilled $2 worth of beer.
Okay.
Once I realized what he was yelling about, I grabbed the $87 on the bar and I throw it at him. I said, "Take what I fucking owe you." He picked up all the money and left.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get my drink, and I had forgotten about the fucking drink already because he had me so pissed off at this point that I wanted to come over to the bar and beat the hell out of him. But I didn't do anything. I sat down. And I'm sitting there and I'm breathing. And then all of a sudden, I look and somebody was bringing out a birthday cake from the back corner with a number 1 on it. And I'm watching them. They carry it up to the party that's in front of me. And they bring it up to this woman. Now, she was either 51 or a really good 61.
Okay.
I mean, okay, and I'm not talking about your grandma either. All right, I'm talking about cougar.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, is this how you
So
met? Is this how you met Jenny?
no,
Okay.
and I met Jenny. I met Jenny on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
yeah, Jenny's recent. This is years ago.
Okay. I want to know how you met Jenny. That's what I want to know.
How I met. Okay, we'll tell you. I'll go into that story next.
Okay.
Um, where the hell was I with this one?
You were watching people carry a cake with a one on it, and then you
Right.
saw a cougar who was not 51 but 61 but looked 51. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, baby. So we all start singing happy birthday, right? Well, they're singing happy birthday. I start singing happy. I'm at a table. All right, the way the situation, the bar went this way along my left side. I'm sitting like facing down the bar because the stage and the TV are down there for the karaoke.
Okay.
So I got the bar to my left. I got a 2 by 2 foot butcher block table in front of me, and I'm sitting in a chair. So the only way to get into where I am is to the right. The door to come in it is behind, and the bar is behind me. So I'm sitting here, and I start singing "Happy Birthday" to this woman. Right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to, and I'm happy. I mean, I forgot about everything that just happened because now I got this pretty woman to sing happy birthday to, right? And in the middle of happy birthday, the next thing I know, I'm laying on the floor with my hand on the table leg, like I'm falling. I can hear, I can see, but I can't move and I can't talk. I don't know if I had a stroke or what happened. And
Oh.
I'm laying there, and then all of a sudden I hear, get up. And I can't move and I can't talk, so I don't do anything.
Mhm.
I feel a hand grab my bicep and try to pull me up. But I had a death grip on that table leg. I wasn't letting go. So I feel that hand let go, and the next thing I feel is bam! I get punched in the. That's why my nose is like this. It broke
Why?
my nose. My hand went limp, and I let go of the table leg. Fell and hit the floor. Next thing I know, I'm being lifted up off the floor. I got to the bottom of the table, and I blacked out. Came to about 5 feet away, being carried out by my shoulder and my arm, dragging my stump on the ground because I didn't have a leg on.
Mhm.
I couldn't breathe through my nose. I was wearing a white guinea tee. And I went, and blood just flew out all over my shirt. Blacked out again. Came to and again in the patrol car with my handcuffs so tight that I couldn't move my fingers. That's how tight the cuffs
Why
were.
did you get arrested for that? Like, what happened?
I
Why?
had no idea. I had no idea. At this
Because
point, I
you
have no idea
fell?
about it. At that time, no. I was singing happy birthday.
Huh.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know why I'm in. And the cuffs are so tight, and I hear two voices outside the car door. Now, I can tell where I am because there's a plastic wall in front of me, and my seat is made of plastic. So I know I'm in the back of a patrol car. And I hear two voices. I can't see them, but I hear two voices. And the front one say to the back one, "You're going to charge him with assault and battery?" And the one in the back saying, "Nah, just battery." And I start screaming, "Please adjust the cuffs. Please adjust the cuffs.
Because
One
you
click,
threw
please."
because you threw the money at someone. That count? Is that's battery or what?
No. He the charge was battery on the cop. Now this is wait. I'm telling you what happened from
Okay.
my point of view.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I hear nobody's opening the door to affix the cuffs at this point. And I'm crying, I'm in so much pain.
Mhm.
And I went bam, bam, 3 times. I smashed my head on the plexiglass and knocked myself out. I woke up the following day in Palm Beach County Sheriff's or Palm Beach County Jail in the butt naked cell, butt naked. Found out that I was charged with battery on a law enforcement officer. When I sat in county jail, I was on a $1,000 bond. So for $100, I could have got bonded out, but my brother never answered the phone. He would never answer the phone. So when I got the police report, I got a public pretender. So when I got the police report, I got a public pretender named Ashley. My public defender's name was Ashley Ann Johnson
Okay.
from the West Palm Beach Public Defender's Department.
Okay.
My biological daughter's name is Ashley Ann Malinowski. I am also referred to as The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, Ashley Ann Johnson, my lawyer's name, could have been my daughter. You don't see the correlation, the names? My lawyer, Ashley Ann, my lawyer's name, Ashley Ann. My association people call me The Rock because.
Wait, so you think they were faking their name?
Whose name?
Like the lawyer, the public defender.
I don't know about that. I'm just telling you her name was Ashley Ann Johnson. That was her name. But she didn't do shit. I wound up firing her. The cop said that when he got called to the bar, they told him that I was drunk and I was rude and I was making a big scene and I was disrespectful and da 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 da. And they wanted me 86th. So he came up to me and told me that the bar wanted me to leave. I ignored him. So he escalated the trespassing warning to a trespassing arrest, at which time he proceeded to handcuff one of my hands. At that time, I punched him in the nose with my other hand. That's what his report said. That's where the battery came in.
Yeah.
However, now I explained to you how I was sitting, what the layout of the bar was, right? I have a table in front of me. I have a bar to my left. I am sitting on a chair with a back, and the only way to get in and out or to talk to anybody is to my right, correct? Okay. Now, if you come up to me and tell me that they want me to leave, you would have to come up to me on my right.
Okay.
So I asked the cop. I cross-examined the cop on the stand, and I said, my question to him was, you handcuffed one arm. Which hand was it? Was it my left or my right? Because I wanted to see if I could trip him up into saying which hand, because being that I'm right-handed and he would be here. So he said the hand furthest away from me. And it just made it impossible. There was no way that I could have hit him, and I didn't hit him because I wasn't drinking that night. I wasn't on anything. I was stone cold sober that night.
Okay.
So but the bartender that night, I was in Palm Beach County Jail for 6 months, and then I went to trial. Fired my lawyer at the trial. They had offered me a plea deal. Plead guilty to battery on a law enforcement officer, and we'll give you 6 months. I would have been out of jail 2 weeks after my trial date. 2 weeks after my trial date, I would have been released, done. I told them no. I'll take it to trial. I took it to trial and I lost. And they gave me a year.
Wow.
And I knew I was going to lose.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to plead guilty to a crime I didn't commit. I didn't punch the cop. No way, no hell. I wasn't drinking. I was sober. I'd only walked into the bar 15 minutes before he got there. So it was all bullshit. But the bartender that started it and got on the stand and raised his hand to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. While I was in prison for 4.5 months, the bartender, 44 years old, had a massive heart attack in his sleep and died. The cop I ran into a month after I got out of prison. And I went up to him, I said, Joe. His name was Joseph Alou. Alou, that's his name.
Okay.
And I said, you know damn well I didn't do nothing to you. You know I didn't hit you. You lied like a son of a bitch. But I forgive you. And I'm going to let God and karma handle it.
That's good. That's how honestly, how I feel like I handle most situations. Karma, God, you know?
Well, I saw Joe again. I saw Joe again about 3 months later at the Palm Beach County substation in Lake Worth. He was the guy sitting behind the desk as the secretary when you walk into the police station, and one that says, hi, how can I help you? In the Hawaiian shirt. That was the arresting cop. And on top of that, he looks like he's got cancer. So he's not on active duty anymore, and he looks like he's dying.
That's pretty sad.
No, it's not. It's karma.
I suppose.
No, how do you suppose? He lied on me. If you go to court and you make a statement that's wrong, you know it's wrong. You're lying on the stand, and you swear to tell the truth to God and man, and you lie, and your lie causes something to happen to somebody else,
Well,
an
yeah,
innocent
obviously that's
person.
wrong. Obviously that's wrong. Like anybody
Thank you.
who does that, that's really what's wrong with the justice system itself.
That's that's why the bartender is unalive right now, and that's why the arresting cop, he's possibly unalive right now. He looks like he's got cancer. He looks like shit. The arresting officer.
I guess I can't speak for any of that, but or
No,
like
I know.
what's right and wrong, you know. But let's move on. Okay.
Good.
I want to know. I want to know how you met Jenny. I want to know like what your relationship looked like. I didn't really like dig into that very much when I was, you know, researching you, but I did see some. I saw how controversial it was. I guess so. Like what? Go into
Listen,
that.
I met Jenny month months ago. She came to me at the park. She said somebody gifted her $200 on a chat on a battle, and gifted her $200 and told her to give me 100. So she came down to the park to bring me the 100,
Okay.
and we became friends then.
That's
And
nice.
since then, we escalated it into a little romantic thing that we had going on. But Jenny doesn't want to take it to another level. She's comfortable with the friends with benefits.
Okay.
Okay, she's okay with that.
Hmm.
About just getting together, having sex, doing whatever. She was okay with that. I'm not.
You wanted to be committed in a committed
I
relationship.
want a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a relationship. And then Closer Zone. Okay, you know Closer Zone on here on TikTok? He's another guy on TikTok. Closer Zone, he's one of these guys where they get a little bit of information and they make a report to other people about it. They don't no idea what the hell they're talking about. But he said how I'm taking advantage of Jenny. I don't give her gas money for driving down the hour and a half to Fort Myers to see me. I didn't ask her to, and I really didn't think about it because she told me she was coming down. I didn't know how to pay for gas for that. I would have gave her gas money if she needed it. I
Okay.
offer to give her money all the time. She won't take it. She helps me out when I needed the money.
Yeah, I don't
So
know how cool it is for people to like butt into people's relationships and tell people what they need to do and you know what I mean?
yeah,
Obviously if there's abuse or something, then yeah, we need to try to rectify the situation, but I
no,
mean,
listen. You don't get involved. The people that are involved, if you're somewhere and you see somebody getting beat up, yes, stop them.
yeah,
But if
right.
you hear, oh, he's an abusive husband or she's an abusive wife, you can hear stories till you're blue in the face, but all of this shit on TikTok is fake.
Yeah, TikTok, everybody wants to be so involved with every
Right.
little detail of your
I,
life. So,
you know, I heard Check today talking about my account, how many red flags I got. I saw him chatting with you earlier today.
mhm.
Okay, when he was talking about I'm gonna lose this account too because, yeah, you know why I'm gonna lose my account? Because him and all his friends are in there, and then they antagonize me, and I start getting pissed and start saying shit because I'm replying to their text that they're playing up here, and then I get bananas for that, or because I had a cigarette or something walk by.
Well, I mean, you do have to take accountability though when you like call people names and stuff. You have to like, you have to.
Wait a minute, is this not your chat?
This
Is
is
this
my
not your room?
no,
Listen, I don't have to be here.
no.
Okay, if I don't like you,
I know.
I don't have no, no, and I'm not saying that against you. What I'm saying is, if I don't like your chat, I'm not going to come in here and poke the bear.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. No, I know. That's why I was talking about this before we even started. Like, no bullying, no spamming. Like, there's a reason that's the only time you get muted. Okay, like we're just not gonna spread hate like that in here. We're just
I
not.
know, let me ask you something, please. I mean, come into one of my lives one time and look at the hate that I get. And
Yeah,
these are from people that don't even know me.
I
They
know.
don't even know nothing about me.
It's
All
weird.
they are, they're friends of Czech.
Yeah,
Or,
well,
or
that's part of
actually,
it. That's part of it. On social media, that's part of it.
I know. It started, the same thing happened. You know, people say, oh, Terrence made you. You should go back to Terrence. Wait a minute. Okay? This isn't a marriage. I left a wife after 25 years. What do you think I had with Terrence? Terrence made a couple of videos of me on my boat. I was the one on the boat. He was just the one behind the camera.
So what did happen with Terrence? Because I guess you guys aren't friends anymore then, or like what?
Listen, I don't know. I didn't know anything about GoFundMe. I didn't know anything about going viral.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know anything about anything until after the GoFundMe was already set up and had $7,000 in it before I was even told about it.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Okay? My name wasn't the beneficiary. The account wasn't in my name. My name was only in the description. Why? I don't know. Let your imagination go with that. But
Mhm.
when I heard about it, when Terrence started plugging it and telling everybody, oh yeah, we started a GoFundMe page for Lieutenant Dan, he didn't even know my name. Dan is not my name. My name is Joseph. I go by J. Just the
Well,
letter J.
for like advertising purposes, though, it makes sense why I mean, if he advertised you in like the beginning as Lieutenant Dan,
No, wait a
right?
minute. It wasn't advertising. Okay, this wasn't content. I didn't know what it was. I thought, like I said, he was doing it for a grade for college class. I didn't know it was viral on the internet for money.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you feel like you didn't have any free will, like freedom of choice in the
No,
matter.
no, it's not even. No, that had nothing to do. How can you have free choice when you don't know about it?
Well, yeah, exactly. No
I
autonomy.
mean, and then when I found out about it after, before Milton, before the second storm, it went up to $40,000. The GoFundMe page. I mean, there were donators that donated $1,000.
Wait.
There were two donators that donated $1,000 each.
Yeah. Did you end up getting that or?
Yeah, I got all the money except for like 2,000 minus the 10% that I told Terrence I would give him.
And also like GoFundMe has its own. They take their fortune or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I forget. I don't know. When we settled the account, there was supposedly I think 40,000 in the account. I wound up at like 32,
Okay.
and I mean, in the first month after when I got that money, I spent, I mean, people always want to know what I had to live for a month. I went through like 5 grand in a month.
Okay.
And then I bought this boat. And I'm not employed. I haven't worked since 2000.
Hmm.
I've been on permanent disability since 2000.
I mean, you can decide what you want to do with your money, though, right? Like
I would think, right? It is my money, right?
yeah. So I don't think
But
that really matters.
people
But
come into my live and they say that I'm begging. All I keep telling everybody is stop sending gifts. Stop. I don't want your money. I don't care.
yeah,
I'm doing it for money.
yeah. Well, so okay, so you said you bought that boat,
Yep.
the one you're sitting in. Well, I saw a video of Aiden Ross like saying he was gonna buy you a boat or something. What was that all
I,
about?
I have no idea.
Okay, so he never did do that.
I never bought me a boat.
Okay, okay, yeah. So you bought the boat with the GoFundMe money.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. That's so cool that you got to do that. That's
I
awesome.
I bought this boat for $11,000. I paid 11,000 cash.
So you sold
Out
your
of
other boat too? Or
No, I didn't sell the other boat. The city, the police impounded it. Actually, I didn't impound it. If you really want to get technical, when the police arrested me for trespassing at the park because I had my ropes tied to the dock, and they arrested me for that, they took my boat for safekeeping and they towed it to the impound lot, but they had to use a crane to take it out of the water to put it on the flatbed, and the towing charge was $8,000. I only paid $1,500 for the boat.
oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a shame. I mean, why would they place the value so high on that? Like, do you know? Like, were you told? Or...
$6,000 for the boom truck to come and lift the truck up. The boat that
Okay.
they used a crane. Do you understand a crane? They had to bring a crane to pick the boat up out of the water instead of just putting it on a trailer like you put a regular boat on a trailer, like they could have did, or they could have just brought the boat to the dock and left it over there. They didn't have to do that. They did that so that I couldn't get the boat back. And the only reason why they did that was because they wanted to search the boat.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they did. They searched the boat.
Why? Like, because of your previous, like, arrests or something? Like, why?
I don't know. No, I don't know why. They just did. They searched the boat. I could tell because when I went back to the boat, it was like, it was so bad. I almost broke down and cried right there.
I mean, I would too. I mean, that was like
It
your,
was my house. You took
yeah.
my house and all my belongings.
Oh,
That's you coming home from school or from work and your house being gone.
yeah. Oh,
Now, the whole damn house, your clothes, your food, your history, anything you might have owned, everything is gone in one shot, just like a hurricane. Come by and wipe the house out.
wow. Wow. That's a little bit like metaphorical almost.
Yeah, right?
Hmm.
Hurricane Dan gets wiped out by the hurricane. He lives through the one hurricane but gets taken out by the city.
Yeah, like the hurricane is actually the people instead of the weather, right? Well, okay. What are you looking forward to? What's your like 5 year plan or like what are you working on right now? What's next for you?
What time is it? It's
Uh,
9:45 and 9:50. Okay, well, I figure I'll be sleeping by 11 in Dreamland by 12,
okay.
get up by 4, Um, and I'm gonna make a cup of coffee in the morning, have a J, wake and bake.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, who the hell knows? You really think we're gonna be here?
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
hope I am. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna plan for
No, I don't think any of us are gonna be here. But that's beside the point. I don't make plans like that. But what I'm doing I'm in Fort Myers right now. I started in Tampa, went from Tampa to Sarasota, Sarasota to Venice, Venice now down to Fort Myers. I didn't like Fort Myers, but it's not really too bad now. I'm getting used to it. It's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'll stay here a couple of days, maybe a week or two,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna head out. Um, I'm either gonna go to Fort Lauderdale or Key West. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
That's as far as my future I get. I'm lucky I got tomorrow on my mind.
So is your boat registered?
Why? Who's
Uh,
who?
let me
No. Let me rephrase the question. Who's asking?
somebody in the chat.
Not your concern. Not you. Not you, Sarah. Not their concern.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I get it if it's, yeah, I understand that. So, okay, so usually,
I'm not confirming or denying. I'm telling you point blank. It's none of whoever's information that they don't need to know.
okay,
I'm not asking you your shoe size, and I'm not asking you your address.
8.5, and I'm not telling you that. There you go. Okay.
All right. Well, 8.5 is fine.
Yeah. I'm 5'5", so I don't know if that's like normal, but
5'5"?
five
I'm
five.
5'6". 5'5.5". We're
Yeah.
almost the same size. I got a half inch on you.
That's fun. Cool.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so usually I go from this segment to names. I haven't really written down that many. I mean, I had like Jenny, Aiden Ross, Tampa Terrence, but if anybody wants me to ask ask Lieutenant Dan, which just any names that you guys want to know, then do that. But okay, let me tell you guys one thing. I said I'm not gonna talk about Check the Star, because I just feel like it's too much like heat right now, and I
Yeah,
don't want to like upset
that
anybody.
just
Yeah, I like you
okay.
guys have been back and forth, and I just don't want to like get in between that at all right now. So let's put names in the chat, guys, and ask him about his opinion. Tampa mayor? Who's that?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the Tampa mayor.
Okay.
Okay, do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, well, look him up, Tampa mayor. I don't mean it rudely, please forgive me, I apologize.
No,
Um,
you're good. You're good.
he,
Sorry,
he showed up,
so much over my
he
phone.
showed up to the boat after Helena and before Milton. I don't know, around that time he showed up one day. I mean, I had so many people. He come to me, he's still bringing up the time how he offered me a hotel room. First of all, bro, I don't know you. I am not going to a hotel room with you. All right, you got a tattoo of Donald Trump on your thigh. Right on his right thigh, he's got a portrait of Donald Trump. Who puts a picture of another man on your thigh? That's as bad as Czech wearing a dress.
I mean, I get it, but also like,
You listen. So anyway, I mean, I'm just saying. He said that to me once,
okay.
and he makes it sound. He acts like he's trying to insert himself into the program, and he's getting kicked out like a virus. But he came down the dock one day and made a video. I had my anchor tied to the cleat on the dock where I was tied. He made a video where he untied it and threw my anchor in the water. And said, "Bye, Lieutenant Dan." So the boat would like drift away.
Like a
And
threat.
then, huh?
Like a threat almost.
No, he did it. He did it. He untied the anchor
What
from
was
the.
your actual
I was sleeping on the boat, on my little boat, sleeping in the boat out in the water. I had the rope on the anchor, up on the dock, tied to the cleat. He came over. He made the video doing it. Untied it and then threw the anchor and said, "Bye, Lieutenant Dan," and threw the anchor in the water. I knew it was him because, and the thing was this: there was a kid that was hanging out around there. He came all the way from Texas. His name was, hang on, give me a minute. I can remember his name. It wasn't Josiah. He was the other one. It was a biblical name. It was out of the Bible. Josiah? No, I forget his name because he went back home. But he was sleeping up on the dock when Tampa Mayor threw the anchor in the water, and the kid heard the splash, didn't know what to do. He jumped in the fucking water and tried to get the anchor. Swimming. I said, "Bro, it's an anchor. Don't worry about it. Come on, get out of the water." I had to pull him up into the boat. He didn't realize, he thought it was a bad thing. He threw the anchor. It's an anchor. It goes in the water to hold the boat steady. It was up there. Now he threw it down here. But he's a piece of work, that guy.
People are saying milk 1%. Is that a person?
Yeah, that's sort of a person. He was like another Czech,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
another clout chaser. Mike 1%. I met him one day I was staying at an Airbnb, and I met him in the parking lot, and he starts telling me that he could get me gigs to do like promos for like smoke shops and TV, iPhone fix it, iPhone fix. I said, all right, So we started doing those things, and I was getting like $50 here and $50 there, and I do, and Lieutenant Dan, we fix phones, and hey, you know what? And then I get these people that critique my freaking performance, tell me how bad I was. But he was a piece of work, Mike. But I don't know. I don't know who was worse, him or Czech.
Guys,
But
any
anyway,
more names? Any more names? Any more names?
oh, TikTok Hero, TikTok Hero was great. He helped me a lot. I'm really grateful for that. They picked me up. He's put me up in Airbnbs. Brought me to his place. Hung out there. He made a video. Everybody thinks I got a mental health problem. I'm just gonna let you go along with that. I don't care. I know I'm fine.
If you
Everybody
if
thinks
you
I'm.
don't let them think it. I mean, people are gonna think what they want on social.
Yeah, that's why I don't even bother. I don't know any Tank. I don't know any Tank. You stop talking about Tank.
James Worley?
He's the guy that came into the park and started harassing me that time. I mean, I'm in the park, I'm on live. He comes up with his camera and starts harassing me for hours. I didn't even acknowledge him. I just ignored him, you know? And then he came down. I was on my boat, on this boat, down by the hospital, down by Bayshore. And he came up again. And people are messaging me, oh, he's on live now and he's by your scooter. And he's telling them that he's calling the cops that they're going to come and impound your scooter. And I'm just telling these people, okay, whatever. What do you want me to do?
Mhm.
Let them call the cops. I don't care.
Did they?
No.
Okay, there you go.
You know?
Someone said Red Bottom Beauty. I don't know who that is.
Red Bottom Beauty. Yeah, that was a trip. I'm standing in a racetrack parking lot, gas station in Fort Lauderdale, right? Talking to my buddy, a guy that I've known for a minute now. And all of a sudden, this Mercedes pulls in with this blonde, big boobs, and she jumps in, Lieutenant Dan! Lieutenant Dan! I busted out laughing. And the next thing I know, she's talking about we're getting married and this is my husband. And it's like, okay, we're getting married, baby.
You were gonna
Just
marry
like
her?
that.
You were gonna marry
No,
her
what-
already?
Are you fucking crazy?
Were you?
Are you crazy? I mean, really, do you fucking think that was serious?
No.
I mean, first of all, listen, I'm not rich and I'm not handsome. I mean, I could be a little bit of one, maybe a lot of the other. I don't know. But
You have
a
blessing.
woman like, huh?
You have blessing. You're blessed. You know, you're blessed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But this woman driving around in a Mercedes with artificial boobs and a fake butt, what the hell does she want to do with me? But I'm not even. Some beautiful woman comes up, or let's say some gorgeous looking guy comes up to you and knows you from Sarah. I watch your TikToks. How are you? Love you, babe. Let's get married. What do you think? And what are you gonna say? You know, he's standing there. You're on live or whatever. I was going along with it. Come on.
Valid. Guys, any other names that you want to ask him about? We're almost done. I don't think we can do toxic questions because he's in a box. But if you guys want to know any other names, then let's do that now.
Hang on, you know, because he just messaged me because, you know, this is how much I know Tank. Let's talk about this, okay? Tank from Texas. That's what I know. Tank from Texas.
Okay.
Tank from Texas is Czech's friend. When Czech had that stupid thing set up with the prosthetic leg thing, we had to drive 3.5 hours to get fitted for the prosthetic, and they never even fitted me for the prosthetic like he was supposed to. We're going to get fitted for a prosthetic. The first thing you have to do when the first appointment you have at the doctor's, they cast your leg.
Okay. Yeah.
They wrap it with a cast. They take that off and they use that to make the mold to make the leg. This guy didn't even do that. So all we did there was everybody walked around with cameras making videos. Lieutenant Dan sitting over there, you know, Czech posting them, Shorty posting them, Tank doing that. It was all bullshit. It was all clout. It was all promo, advertisement. And that's why I said, I have insurance now. I've had insurance since the first of the year.
That's a shame. That's really a shame. Yeah.
I don't bother going for a prosthetic because I don't really care. And I could go right across the street or, you know, right down the road.
Yeah,
I don't have to
sorry.
travel
I'm
3.5.
sorry about that. That's messed up, dude. That's really messed
Yeah,
up. I don't
it is
know.
what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you didn't have it before and you didn't have it after, what did you lose? But it's still kind of like shady. I don't know.
No, look, listen. What I'm saying is, I don't have the leg now because I'm lazy.
Okay.
100% honest with you.
Okay.
I
Valid.
could get one. All I got to do is pick up the phone, call a prosthetic company, make an appointment, go in, get fitted, get casted, have them make it, go back into a week, pick it up.
Mhm.
But you know what? I don't fucking feel like it. I
Okay.
get around fine.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't need it, like I understand. Like if you don't really want to go through all the trouble, it's not like you're
And the
necessarily
thing,
lazy. You just don't really
and
want
the,
it that bad. Like
listen,
okay.
I'm not saying I don't want. I'm not saying I don't want it. I do want a prosthetic. I've walked my whole life. I've had a prosthetic since I lost my leg.
Okay.
I only lost the prosthetic when I came to Florida 5 years ago. I had one Greyhound bus, lost it. Lost
Oh,
my luggage on the way down here.
wow. Wow.
But the thing was, they're saying that I'm ungrateful. You want me to drive a 3.5 hour each way drive for a prosthetic leg where I can get one locally, not have to sit in a car for 7 hours, and not waste my whole day to go up there and come back. And that was Tank. Tank drove me up there in his truck. Why, I don't know. Why Tank came all the way from Texas to do this, but he came from Texas, drove us up there. And then I had no ID and I couldn't get my PayPal shit together. So Tank used his ID to do my PayPal. But then something happened with me and him. We got into an argument and he withdrew his ID so my PayPal wouldn't work again.
Oh.
That's what Tank wanted me to tell you. So that Tank, there you go. How's that, buddy? Now I put that. That's what I know about you, buddy.
Wow, Wally.
Anybody else?
Do you know Call Wally?
Who?
Call Wally. He's an attorney on this app.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, just I guess just message him. Okay, does anybody in the chat have any final questions or comments that you want to ask him? Because we're not going to do toxic questions today because he's in a box instead of like co-hosting, so we can't really do that. Okay, I'm only going to ask like one or two guys. Okay, so I'll ask a good one. So, because of the account situation, somebody wants to know where they can reach you now. I guess I will ask the like owner of the account that you're on right now if it's okay if you have it. But if not, are you gonna finish being on TikTok or are you gonna make a new account or
I'm not going live on here anymore. I could still get into my account,
okay.
and still see all my posters. That's the only thing I care about. I'm not concerned about making content. I only went live because people request me to go live.
Okay.
Some of my friends, I have friends on here that like to talk to me, but then I get a lot of people on here like Check's friends and whatnot that start trouble, and I get bananas because I got a big mouth and I don't take no BS.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, one final question. Put more questions in the chat if you want to know anything else. Oh, he did, Sarah. It was on TikTok. Why did you not sue the Greyhound bus company for losing your leg?
Why didn't I sue him? Because that's when I was homeless.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. All right. Kind of a weird ending, but I really appreciate your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. I appreciate it. I hope we got haters are gonna hate, and I'm learning to accept that. But just some people are just so petty and so childish that I don't even get it. I mean,
It's true.
it is what it is.
I mean, some people make decisions out of hate instead of love, and I think if you make decisions out of love, then you can't go wrong. Really, I mean, we all make mistakes regardless, but that's like the way that we were created. So, okay, I have you on Facebook now. If you need anything, you can reach out to me. Yeah, I'm gonna post this full version interview on my YouTube channel as well. It's at Serotonin444. If you want to watch
Okay.
it. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna set up a YouTube channel.
yeah, you should. It'll be good.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
girl.
Thank
You have a
you.
great night.
Yeah, you too. I really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay.